All right, I can't wait anymore. We're going to cut Michael off for a second, and when you have good guests, you want to get every moment, squeeze every minute out of them. Okay, now here's the deal. I will set it up for you, for all of you cats and gals at home, and you'll understand how all this thing came about. I was home, and I was kind of doing nothing, a little bit bored, so I went down the dial into oblivion there, down by the 60s, here in New York City, where past the sports station, which is 66 WFAN, there are two other fairly prominent stations that no one very few people actually know about. But when you become aware of these two and my buddy Abe that I have with me, you'll understand why I ventured down the dial and I stopped and I said, these are New Yorkers, true New Yorkers, probably Brooklyn. I kind of got the Brooklyn vibe. I have to say, the accent did it. And I said that, these guys know what the deal is right here within our vicinity here. And you'll forgive me, those who are listening on the left coast. This is where it's happening, New York City. It's, I could take a trip out there, but I mean, eventually I make my way back to the great NYC. So I heard this voice. Talk to me, Heshy.
Well,
that's it. That's the voice.
That's the voice.
That's the voice. I said, wait a minute. And they were actually talking issues. They were really speaking about things that actually mattered. They weren't pulling punches. I think you were talking. Well, something made me hone in about freedom and liberty and that type of thing. And now Esty chimes in with, now see, the age gap between the hosts are interesting. Now, if you don't mind, you're early. Can I say early 20s?
Yeah.
I won't try to guess. Month and date. So when you chime in with your take on as a millennium, I think to myself, well, here's that perspective. And then we go back to, I'm 54, you're in your 50s, I'm sure.
51.
Okay. Then we go back to my age bracket, and back and forth this thing goes like a ping pong ball. And it's a beautiful thing. And I said, that's something different I haven't heard on terrestrial probably ever. Because you get the same opinions, you get the same, I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal, and I don't go anywhere in between. I don't know what side of the issue you're going to fall on. And I certainly don't know what side of the issue that Esty's going to fall on.
Neither do I.
Right. And you take issue by issue. You don't toe a political line. You're taking each issue as is. And that's what makes it genuine. Tell us about yourself and how this all came about. Your program and how you got into this in the beginning. Go ahead, Hedge.
Well, I'm just a regular person, and I always consider myself a regular man. And me and my family, and especially my son Abe, who he's 20, going to be 24.
He's an impressive young man.
Do you know he ran for senator?
This man is, when I was 24, I was, chasing girls. That's all I did.
He finished college. He ran for senate. He ran for the city council. He has been inspiration to me, and I'm in my 50s, that he helps young people. Our family has with the stories I heard of my parents and grandparents, what the good they've done for the community, I've always believed since a little boy. My father died when I was a little boy, 13 years old. And I've had to raise a family, and I always felt helping other people is important. So after I got married and I had this beautiful boy that I delivered myself, I delivered
That's
him.
pretty darn good.
I told the story on the air many times.
I don't know anybody that can say that.
And I tell it on the air, and I tell it every Passover that comes up right now.
First time I've heard it.
I caught him. You're going to hear it soon again. But I believe in, and I've seen strife and poverty through the city that I've worked all these years.
Right.
I've worked in projects, I've worked in homes, I've read stories of our country of poverty, and it bothers me. And I get lucky, and I don't know why I'm rewarded with something's good things. And I've raised 3 of my own boys, plus my brothers, my sister has Down syndrome, and many young men that have come to our house. And me and Abe always push college, young boys, Jews, any different race.
Right.
We try to educate them and help you. Every year, by the way, in the summertime, and my son Mitchell's listening to the radio. If you don't mind, I'm going to brag.
No, please do.
So since these boys are little, by the way, Abe is the umpire, he cheats. I'm a baseball man, so I'm the pitcher.
So you like your baseball.
And I pitch these little boys since they're 12. Now they're big monsters of 23, 24. They're like you. They work out. They lift 900 pounds.
Right.
But this old man puts that
Don't
ball.
say that. I got 3 years on your
Okay,
pal.
but I
Go
put
ahead.
that ball over the plate.
Right.
Sure, I spit on the ball and I do things.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm 6-4 this summer.
Good deal. Good deal.
That's it.
So now in the wintertime, do you now? Let me say to Esty now. How did you get involved in this project?
One day, Heshy calls me up and says,
Uncle Heshy.
Uncle Heshy.
I'm uncle to everybody,
Says,
by the way.
Hey, Esty, want to be on a radio show? I was like,
Just like that.
yeah. I was like, why me? Like, where did this come from?
I gave you a good pitch.
Yeah, and I guess I'm very opinionated, which I guess not a lot of women are, or women my age. I don't know what it is. So I guess, I spoke to him once or twice, and we, argued about different things,
Right.
and I guess he felt I was right for it.
You have what you call. See now, your voice was part of the reason why I stayed.
Really?
Yeah, and this is, swear to God, from a Catholic boy. That's what makes this great too. This the whole little thing. This dynamic is great. That you made me stay there because I said, wait a minute, okay, these guys are going to bounce it around for a while. I'm going to hear that. Then I heard this voice. I heard that voice. That's not you. You must be. And you said the Heshy. Now tell the folks the name of your show.
My name is my show is called the Just Enough Heshy
Okay,
Show.
now here's what I heard. I heard, this is me listening for the first. Okay, Esty would say, this is the Jason Arpeggi show. That's what I heard. Now I'm just saying, that's just with a guy in the Manhattan apartment turning his dial. That's what I heard. And then I heard it a few times. Then I got it. And then I said, I wonder how difficult it was to have something like this because I actually had friends after that. I listened to you once, I have to admit. But I had friends listen in afterwards, and they said one evening that some right-wing character called you guys up, and you had an absolute
meltdown.
Nutty, right?
Yeah.
And you
I
said
have a lot of them, by the way.
And this guy really got your goat, because what you're looking at here, talk radio, is mostly conservative radio. You have guys, I'm towing the conservative line. I don't stray from the, Republican good, Democrat bad. This the same old song and dance. But you guys were different, so that's why I listened. So these other folks that listened, they're hooked.
Yeah.
Well, Ralph, let me
They're not even Jewish. Go ahead.
Ralph, I have been involved with the community. At 1 year when I was working in the projects,
Yeah.
and we won a contract to change toilet bowls in the city, and we just had a small crew. And I felt bad. A lot of guys came to me, and when you're working in poor neighborhoods, people don't even have a pair of gloves to come work, and they said, "Listen, I don't need minimum wage. For $15, let me work for the day," and it hurts me. And I remember working, and I told the story there that I was working in a project and I hired 52 men from work release. And it bothers me a lot of the things that the city goes on. Now, I'll switch sides. I'll go with the rich. I'll go with the poor. I'll defend whoever needs it. I do not like a bully. I do not like people being pushed up.
Right.
And I like a good laugh. And I like a good joke at any time. And that's what I do. I like to joke. I like to tell stories. And the way I got into the radio is I always wanted to be a movie star. By the way, I think I was a great actor. Especially in school, my Baba told me, "You're just an actor, get out of class." So, Abe was helping this gentleman who ran this radio station, 620. Helped a few people in the election campaign, which my two boys are experts at.
Comes down to you again.
Again, that boy, and he said to he told the guy who was helping out, he says, "My father needs to be on the radio. You owe me a favor, put my father on the radio."
It's not too much to ask.
And my little big shot son comes up and he says, "Listen, you always talk big. I'm giving you a chance. Can you do it?"
Yeah.
And he kept warning me every day, "You're getting on the air, you're getting on the air." And I, of course, had to sell myself to one of the people on the show. And I pitched myself, I didn't shut up for an hour. He says, "Can you keep going for 2 hours?" I say, "Ask my wife, I can go for 4.
I have a feeling that as long as they let you go...
Oh, please. In synagogue, they beg me not to go. Stop, man. Stop. Get out.
But that's what it's all about. If you tune into dead air, you're going to tune out. You gotta keep it hopping. You gotta keep it hopping.
That's the first rule they told us. Make sure no dead air.
By the way, I picked Esty because she came over to my house one time and we had an argument about drugs.
Okay.
I'm against it. I don't know what your opinion is, and I don't.
We'll get to it because it's important.
It's not that I've seen a lot of. You grew up with me in the '60s and the '70s.
Pretty much.
And we had a lot of friends that lost it. I had a lot of friends that went zero. Men who had power
Great
and
potential,
money. And I took them. You know, me and Abe went to many drug AA classes and so on. We were a cookie man. We cleaned the tables. And the stories we heard, which we were not allowed to repeat or mix in, we went home crying. And it was a good lesson for my boys not to do drugs, and I cry with them all the time. And Neil and me are friends from 14 years old.
Oh, okay.
And we argue about everything. From he picks drugs, I don't. I mean, we are buddies so long. And I said to Neil, if we fight in the car all the time, people would like to hear what you're saying. He is my voice of reason. Anytime I did anything of business, he used to say, this is what you could do, this is what you can't do. And he always knocked it into my head. Stop talking crazy. Stop being whack.
Well, I heard Esty on the side of the marijuana person. You know,
we have to have a chat with him.
Right, and you know something? I understand it. I don't smoke. I never have smoked. I don't drink.
You're not going to try it once in your life.
Oh, here we go again.
Maybe for you.
I'm going to kill
You're
myself.
very cute. but you know what it is with that? It's just something about smoking in general. I never smoked a cigarette aside from on stage as an actor, which I did many times, which made me, like, you have to look like you're a smoker if you're going to act a part that the guy happens to be a smoker. And it's the most difficult thing in the world because afterwards, I just want to vomit.
I thought that people like that try smoking in real life to make it look real, no?
I did. I had to practice. You actually have to practice this ridiculous habit of smoking.
And you didn't get addicted just from
No,
that?
not at all.
Wow.
In fact, it repulsed me even further.
Wow.
But that's just me. But I have my other vices, trust me. But that's just not my thing. But the thing is, they don't look, see, Hesh, they don't look at it as something that's so drastic as maybe either you were in that crowd or you weren't.
Right.
This is more mainstream now. And look at how sweet and nice and put together she is. You know, I know you're not that sweet. I know you have some things to say.
Trust me, she's not.
But you know, but you know, now do you smoke on a regular basis?
Only, I guess, when I have a job, like, you know, consistently, and I have a lot to do, then I won't, but, you know.
And what does it do for you exactly?
Honestly, we changed my life. You see, I guess I don't promote it for everyone. I just suggest that they try it. I used to be very close-minded. I came from a community that was like, weed, drugs, that's so bad.
Right. Well, explain to him what your community is. It's a very orthodox community that even, forget that we don't have TV and turning on a radio station, like Neil said the other day, in one of the religious communities in Israel, you can't say the word pregnant or bed.
Interesting.
And in our neighborhood, if your hair is not covered, you're a whore. Or a cover. I mean, I say
I heard
cover.
you say that word.
Right. But in our neighborhood...
Heard that on a Woody Allen movie. That's how I know
Oh, yeah,
word.
very
What?
Yeah, that's actually how I know
I'm going to pitch this word to the world. By the way, did I tell you I'm going to open up a club Cover?
And you didn't say
Oh,
that.
yeah, I'm going to open up my club. Even J-Lo and that other one, what's her name, Rihanna, whatever, Beyonce, they're coming to my club. They have to say I'm a clubber. But in a good way.
Okay, well, if you say so. So this mellows you.
No, so originally I was, you know, very against it. When I saw people smoking, I was like, how can you do this? You're ruining your life.
Now, this was when? How old were you then? Like in your teens? Early teens?
When I was like 14.
Okay.
And I didn't try, even though I was around a bunch of druggies. I didn't try.
Bunch of druggies.
Until I was around 19. And then I was like, my parents can't tell me, oh, you're being immature. I was like, I'm going to try it. I'm old enough.
Sure.
And once I tried it, I was like, this is what people have been against all these years. This is harmless.
Right.
And that opened my mind. The fact that I was taught one way my whole life, and that in 1 minute, I was like, wow, this all changed. Plus, I talk very fast, and my brain works very fast.
You do.
So when I
I was going to say
right,
that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to slow down.
No, it's a good thing.
So when I smoke, it slows my brain down, so I'm able to talk at a regular level. So it's not for everyone. I believe people should try it to see if it's for them.
Sure.
But for me, there's only, I think, a few select people that it works for.
Thank you.
Well, here's what it is. I have nothing against it aside from it just turns me off. That's me, but not on moral grounds. Like you smoking, you bad girl. You smoke, not like that. Me just feeling like it's just not for me. It's not my preference. But you say, how do I know? Because I never tried.
Right. What if you're missing out on the greatest thing
Well,
and you don't
The
know it?
residual, the smoke that walking down the Manhattan Street, more so than ever, by the way.
Yeah.
And now, it never was so prevalent as it is right.
Everywhere.
Everywhere I turn, I'm bombarded with the smoke, and it's incredible. It's wafting from the windows up. I don't know where it's coming from, because I look around purposely and think to myself, well, it has to be coming, but it's actually coming from the vents and the people in the houses. Anyway, so I get a contact high just walking down the street, probably. But I'll tell you what it is.
You can eat it.
Fat chance. Just the secondhand smoke that I'm getting and I'm smelling, it turns me off. But I'll tell you something. Many people, our friend Norman is a big proponent. I just talked. He was in here yesterday. We had a good time,
he told us.
and he swears by it. But let me say that he goes a little bit far. The cure-all for the world. Anything that's wrong, anything that ails you, have a joint. So you don't feel that way, do you?
You know what?
It's better than the pharmaceutical companies.
That's
the stuff
true.
they put in.
You're right about that.
If you can choose pharmaceutical stuff or weed, honestly, you should choose
Now,
weed.
is it
if you have a choice.
Is it stronger now than it used to be? Because that's what's said. I'm not sure if that's true.
It's more
yes.
dangerous.
It's more dangerous.
I
Not
believe
more
it.
dangerous.
So you think it's a gateway drug?
It's worse than a gateway drug. I believe we were having an argument in my office. We have a legal department, but we talk about it. It's legal in marijuana in California and Denver. I believe any drug, and Esty doesn't want to understand from the generation where she came from. These people today, they're making drugs stronger and harder. And I'm not against you guys feeling good. Don't get me wrong, Ralph. You and me had a drink when we were younger. We got a little drunk
But they're
and a little
not
high.
putting in chemicals.
It's not the point. The point is you're cheating your beautiful life.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you guys want to be free, and I don't mind you being free. I'm against the government. I'm against the police
Right.
force beating us up. We have an.
That's what I loved about you.
You know, we have something called Operation Clean Sweep. Did you hear about that?
No, tell
My
me.
Operation Clean Sweep is I'm going to put up in the next election. I'm going to find we have already 400 emails.
Mm-hmm. I'm
going to find young kids and men and women of different nationalities, different races, from 25 to 35 years old, and we're going to run somebody for every open seat. We don't have a chance.
Nice.
I'm going to run it against every big boy. My boy ran against the top contender, had no chance, got 20% of the vote. And the people were stupid in our community. They voted again the big guy in for the 40th time or whatever it is,
right.
and nothing is getting done. If I put 40 young kids, take over the city council, not me, but Operation Clean Sweep with people who can think out of the box and not get stolen. And the point being is we want to make a change, and we have to teach the young people to make a change. Drugs have been illegal, especially marijuana, since 1932. I'm not against you using a drug if you need it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But thinking that you can wake up in the morning and cheating life, you think I don't feel bad, you think my bone doesn't hurt me. Marijuana is a drug, and I read her the harmful effects of it.
They're
right.
all not true.
They're true. You can make up whatever you want.
Right.
A list, I put it out on my show.
I know.
And it's only
Panic
marijuana.
attacks, anxiety
But she
was
doesn't
one of them.
understand. I was with boys who smoked pot, and then they did that cocaine, and then crack.
The cocaine scared the hell out of me. Have you done coke? Okay,
Oh, God.
you plead the fifth. Go ahead.
The problem is what I believe marijuana leads to crack. And a lot of the young guys, when they run out of money, and I saw...
So marijuana into crack.
I believe it does. Because this rabbi, a friend of mine that I grew up with, he lived on 51st...
I took an aspirin once.
And the point is not even aspirin, but the guy did crack, and he had a beautiful job.
Right.
The man was at the top of his game. He lost his job, his wife, and I found him on Flatbush Avenue walking the streets. I don't want to tell you what he was doing. And I asked him, I said, Rabbi, what's going on with you? He says, I have a big hole in my body. He says, when I do the crack, it fills me up. So now I understand what the marijuana is. It's a big hole, right? And that's a problem.
Hold on.
I'm sorry that you're
Please.
depressed. I'm sorry that you need therapy, and we'll find a way to fix you. And America, 25% of America is poor, is living under the poverty line. I was reading today about the Ozarks, Dent County, 35%. People
real
living,
poverty, by the
people
way,
living in
Shacks.
shacks with 20 blankets with no running water,
Right.
and we are busy with smoking pot and therapy. We should be helping people on the street, and it bothers me that this America is too busy. We're going to attack ISIS without protecting our own country, without going to take care of stupid stuff. Yeah, we need to defend the Second Amendment, the guns. We need to defend this amendment. We got to go arrest.
We'll get into guns.
No, but it's not even guns. We got to go arrest stupid people. You're not
Right.
protecting us from the drug dealers. You're not protecting us from people being shot on the street. You're not feeding us.
Yeah.
I know people in my neighborhood who have no food for the weekend. I have a young man in my community who feeds 100 families
Wow.
for Shabbos. Boxes, and you feel embarrassed, Ralph, because somebody has to carry them the box, and,
Yeah.
and their beautiful families. And the man had a living, he can't make it, and the government does not care. And now there's a new policy, some idiot in Florida, that if you do drugs, you're marijuana nasty, and you fail, you lose all your benefits. A nerve of you that I should lose the benefits of taxes and stuff like this. A nerve of you. This is our country, the
Right.
flag. That's
Right.
why I do not believe in the flag.
Well, you know
the
something
flag
with
is
the-
nothing to me. It's we the people. It's this country that makes the people. You know, people did not die for the flag. My parents did not die in the war. My cousins who, I had a cousin. I want to tell you this. I'm
Yeah,
gonna let you
please.
talk. I know. you
No,
talk a
no, no,
lot.
no, 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 please. That's
My
why I
co-
have you.
I have a cousin, but who just died, like 95, 98 years old. His name is Getzel Schwartz. The man, you think you're strong. This man had muscles like you never saw before. At 75 years old, I went to visit him in his apartment. The man was doing 100 push-ups.
Yeah.
He came to this country. He had 10 or 11 brothers and sisters that were all killed and lost. His father finally stole him and got him into America. What do you do with an American boy during the Second World War who can't speak English?
Right.
You put him in the paratroopers.
Sure.
And you push him out of a plane behind enemy lines.
Wow.
And he made so many medals, your head would fly.
Wow.
At the end of the war, he finally got into one of the places where the concentration camp was, and he found one of his sister's names on the list. He gets into the town, and they killed his sister 4 days before. He got crazy. He took out his machine gun, started shooting people on the street. Of course, they court-martialed him, and you can't kill a hero. You can't do nothing. So they threw him out of the army, and they gave him a pension for life. What do you do in 1948? You fly to Israel, and you join their army.
Right.
He again becomes a hero.
Uh-huh.
And this is a man, this is a people that I want to tell you that have fought their lives. That is called not fighting for the flag. He fought for the family, he fought for the people, he fought for his fellow citizens. Everybody says the flag, the flag. Your flag means nothing when you're letting 25% of your country starve. Your flag means nothing to me when 2,060-something people in my city, I'm not talking your California, your Tallahassee, are being shot and killed. Where a 3-year-old kid could take a gun and shoot his mother and father. Yes, but and you know what's going to happen? They're going to arrest the mother and father, put the kid into foster care, and then these little politicians are just going to disappear.
Yeah.
And they don't really care. And have you seen any laws change? Mayor de Blasio, the great mayor who's going to change the city. He has a black wife, black children. He knows every race, every culture. This guy is the mix of the mix. Zero.
Yeah.
He's made it worse for guys like me. He's led his building department. There's 312 different organizations in this city, and each one runs differently. Not one hand washes. It's not one hand. 312 hands don't know how to wash the other. Then you have your little FBI, your Secret Service, all punishing its own citizens. Go out and defend us. No, because your flag has to be protected. You need your money, your president.
Well, you know, it's a
Nobody is
piece
taking care of me, Ralph. I am suffering.
You're so right. It's a piece of cloth. It's a symbol. It's something. You don't die for this symbol.
Right.
If I had to go off to war, I probably would. I would go kicking and screaming because I can't stand violence and war. And also, you were going to say something. I didn't want to cut you. You had something to say before about what Heshy was saying. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I would love to join the army just because I come out all buff.
Oh my God.
It's a good reason.
Right.
I can't believe you just said that.
But I could never join because I don't know what the government is telling me to do, and I have to listen blindly. And if they're doing something really horrible, I don't know. I'm just supposed to shoot these people who I don't know if they deserve it or not, but the government said so.
Yeah,
so
these are the bad guys.
If I knew exactly what I'm doing and I can make a choice, then I can join. But to unknowingly hurt innocent people, I wouldn't be able to risk it.
Yeah, it's
It's
a very touchy subject, and also so many. We're involved in every war. No matter what happens in the Middle East, we're there. Where we're bringing democracy over to these people that don't have no idea of the concept. And then we go there and we're there, occupy, and then we're gone. And then they revert back to where they were because, simply put, that's not thousands and thousands of years. You're not going to step in and change it. So if my kid were off to Iraq, I'd say, here, come here, buddy, you're going nowhere. Because, I don't want my kid coming home in a bag. I don't want my kid coming home with one leg and one arm. It's not worth it. And as long as we're here, men are here on this planet, we're gonna be fighting and fighting and fighting. Unfortunately, it never ever ends. Yes, maybe there's a peacetime for a while, but you can damn well believe we're gonna get right back into the brawl, and that's the way it works.
See, then that's why are we giving money overseas? If we just spent our money here on people who need it, maybe we could make this country thrive, give everyone jobs, and make everyone. I mean, it's not possible specifically.
Well, we do
but
good.
Instead of giving them money, if they just invested in their own country, something great can come out of it.
So you're very nationalistic, you would say, right? You're about home here, right?
I mean, what's it really giving us? I don't think it's giving us safety by giving them money. What happened? They ended up building tunnels when we gave them money underneath Israel.
And it's a bottomless pit. The money, there's never enough.
Right.
If we give $3 billion, they want $5 billion. And that's the way it goes. And
what is ridiculous, though? What's ridiculous is that they're giving. Wait, I forgot my point. Keep going.
Well, I'm saying that the money, you can't throw money at a problem and think it's going to be solved. In any aspect, any capacity, whether we're talking on a local level or we're talking nationally, you can't just say, okay, we'll appease you, we'll drop some food from the sky, and then we'll give you a couple billion, and please stay out of our face. It just doesn't work that way, please.
Okay, I remember it. We keep lending money from China. How do you have the right to be like, oh, you know what, I want to help people. Hey, can you lend me thousands of dollars that I'm never going to pay you back to help other people? I'm sorry, you can't lend money that you don't have to help people. That's pretty messed up. They don't have that right.
Right. No, that's true, and that's
Very good point.
It really very cogent, and that's our money. We're paying for it. If you're working, if you actually have a real job, and you're actually getting paid, you're taking that money out of your pocket, and you're giving to people and causes that you've never voted upon. You've never just said yes, I want my money to go there. Yes, I support that cause. I support that, whatever Mr. Obama's doing. How do you think the president has done in these 6 terrible years that we've just suffered through? Talk about the president.
Oh, actually, I was going to say, I think it would be great if when you gave taxes, you can choose what you wanted to go towards. And the army would not get any money, probably.
No money for you with the army.
No, like you'd be able to choose. I want my money to go here, no place else. This is what I'm paying for. I want the streets in front of me paid. That's it.
Now you know why I have her on my show. I just love her.
This
because
is
she
a
say
fresh
stuff that will kill me, and I like to be able to go up with a new idea.
But when I heard that night, I heard her say something that was very Pollyannish. It's in a nice way.
Wow.
It's a good way.
You know she wants to put all the immigrants in one city.
He's just making stuff. He doesn't get.
I do get it.
Put
You
all
want
the
to put
immigrants there.
What were we talking
Well, I
about?
was saying, no, you were talking about, and you said something about, and my friend also told me you followed up on it one night. Something about that you want to have your own part of the globe, and this is like the Emerald City in the Wizard of Oz.
That's what he's talking about.
And everybody, if you go there, you must have a job. If you don't work for some people will be a little bit more wealthy than others, but everybody has to contribute. And you have this kind of place where everybody's kind of making a new way for themselves, aside from what we're used to here in this country. Am I off base, or am I close?
I wasn't thinking like, they have to have a job. What I wanted to do was provide housing if you work for these companies. So if you're not working, then we can't house you anymore.
Okay, fair. So you have to be working, and then you have the capacity to have a home.
So yeah, I just basically wanted to make another big city. We already have LA, we have New York, that's crowded. Let's make a new one. And supposedly the land is free, which someone told me it might not be, and there might be radiation there. But if I could, if not there, then somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know if the radiation
in the ocean, Esty, in the ocean, we can build one of those floating cities.
If I can make enough jobs, then maybe we can get immigrants, to be able to get citizenship because there's enough jobs for them. Because right now, they're kind of stuck. They have to get paid less, and I want to be able to allow immigrants in because there's enough space for them. Not in New York because we live like mice. But if I can just make this city, the thing is, it would be $1 billion project, and you probably need other people to invest. And I don't even want it to be a money-making city. I just want to have some sort of a city of good, as opposed to just having to deal. Wait, you think I could be like councilman or something? I'd have to be in Nevada, right?
Well, Nevada's like a desert. For what you're talking about, it's the ideal location.
Yeah?
For some reason, I just think because, many people went to Nevada. And they went Vegas, but also then the offshoots, the little towns around there became popular too because you had some space and you're able to breathe. Like you said, mice in New York City, you're so right. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Ralph Romeo program is brought to you by Whole Food. Excuse me, Whole Foods, WholeFoods.com. Check it out. Find the Whole Foods in your neighborhood and tell them Ralph Romeo sent you. Bed Bath & Beyond. Again, go to bedbathandbeyond.com and see what you can find. By the way, when you go into that store, anything and everything is there. I mean, I used to think it was just stuff for the home. Everything is in Bed Bath & Beyond. And when you get there, again, Ralph Romeo sent you in your area, Bed Bath & Beyond. Okay, now do you want to talk tonight? Because you're certainly welcome.
I have no problem. I'm the...
Okay, get a mic and you can get...
Abe is not yet running for office.
And,
when he was, and he would have been on the air, he would have been great.
Right.
I did put him on Channel 11 News. You can watch him when he was 19 years old, Ralph.
Yeah, I
and,
saw that.
And he points his finger into the camera, and I told him, he screams at everybody, he says, the future is now, and the best is yet to come, which was my line. And the way he said it was so beautifully. And if people understand that the future is now, we could change the world. You know, do you know we have a law in this city that if you curse, or what is it called, using
language, foul language,
not foul, I forgot, but
no, I don't know.
You know, dirty language, but I forgot the proper wording.
Hate speech.
Not
speech.
hate, not
Okay,
hate,
you're talking about just any foul language.
Foul language. It's a crime. You know, you're not allowed to be using bad language. They change the laws on us as they please, the city. From your housing laws to the city laws. You know, I told a story the other night that the cop was able to jump a woman for sucking on a lollipop that he thought was drugs. She's standing in her house. 2 police officers, women, came to my house, and while I was standing in my doorway, said, "Show me your ID." I said, "Who do you think you are? A nerve of you." And she says, "You know, you can't preach the civil rights," and especially the women. You know, I'm not into women cops. I like cops, not all of them, but especially not women cops. I mean, they're not too bright.
They have more to prove because they want to be tough.
And it's not even the point. The point is, you know, today we have building department inspectors. According to the law, they're not allowed to come to your house. They're not only to even investigate if you're doing something wrong. So the new trick is, they call 311, this retarded program that Bloomberg set up, another wacko that I always thought. And they say, "Oh, somebody made a complaint." A lie. And this is how the city does it. They trick you, they suck us, they torture us. You want to go on the national level? I like Obama. Obama did a great job. I love Obamacare. I think the idea of Obamacare is a wonderful thing. It's not working. You have a sicko Congress, half-retarded Senate. I mean, those people actually either belong in old age homes or mental wards. They're actually sitting there changing our laws. We need Operation Clean Sweep. And if I can start it here, maybe we can go nationwide. And everybody, I believe, should be fired.
Well,
if I was elected to city council or mayor, and we do that, I would fire everybody in the building department. There's no question about it. I'll make them retire, fire all the commissioners, because those you can fire, and say, "Listen, let's start again. Let's train again." These people are not crooks. They're just... Can I ask you a question?
Incompetence, the word.
It's not even incompetent. You're building a $10 million building. You know the money you're putting into the building. You're working hard. Some loser inspector who makes $40,000 or $50,000 a year, and I'll tell you a name of one, Pugach, some loser from the mayor's task force, a new thing they made up, walks over and says, "You built this wall incorrectly, stop the job." What do you mean? I'm building a $10 million building. Every day I stop the job, it's $20,000, $30,000. Well, if you don't like it, too bad. I'm going to call the police on you. So now you're losing tens of thousands of dollars a day. You have to go through a whole procedure to get this retarded inspector back. And if he's in the mood to allow you to open the job, there should be somebody who's more professional, a commissioner, a guy who's making more money, not a loser who doesn't know what it cost you, even though he thinks he's some kind of a contractor. Now, you're losing all your money, so you're trying to cheat the system. You're not doing anything wrong. Some of these inspectors that were arrested the other day were not bribed to do anything wrong. They were just bribed to push you through the system faster, because the system is terribly created. You have politicians that stand up, and I'm going to knock Mr. Greenfield, my councilman, who we are so busy with all the problems in this city. He gets up and says, Israel was insulted, and I'm sorry. Who the hell asked you to do it on my time in the middle of the city council? Go home, open your window, stand naked, and scream. But don't do it in my city council where I'm paying you a salary. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, come on. I don't
wait a minute, Abe, I'm not
necessarily
finished
agree
yet.
with
When you run for Senate, you can do whatever you want.
I don't agree
The
with
city needs a change, and we need a clean sweep. And we are, and you know who I blame?
Who's that?
Not the flag,
Who's that?
not the city. We the people.
Yeah.
We stupid people
Yeah.
who like we had a guest on the show, Gary. He says not even 2 or 5% voted in the city. Is that what it was, Abe?
Yeah,
Well, look at that.
And a shame.
and the young generation
It's
is
not
not
the
even
young
voting anymore.
generation. We don't care. And the reason why America has been so successful till now is because we did good. We cared about one another. We went to our fellow neighbor and fed them. You know, I go to the hospital on weekends with my boys, and you should see the charity, the kindness, the thing that these people do. When I see a nurse in the hallway, I grab her and give her a hug and kiss. I mean, not in a bad way.
Sure.
And even a guy, a nurse.
Sure.
These are wonderful men who love. Some of them do have breakdowns. But the point is, these are the people that help out. And that's why America is successful. Otherwise, we would be burning like what's that called country that I was watching? Dakar, where women are not allowed to even play soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of stupidity is
Well,
this?
they killed these young boys for watching soccer.
The-
I mean, this
that
has
was
become.
in Syria, if I'm correct.
Yeah, this
whatever.
right, but this has become an absolute out. Now, Abe, let me get you into the conversation. Take a little step, a little sweep over to the So now, with Dad being so opinionated, and our friend Esty being likewise, let's see what you're all about. Who are you?
Oh God!
Conscious-
Oh God! No!
Controversy between them runs like it's in the family.
Right. So I mean, but now when you ran for what office?
I ran for state senate.
How was that experience?
I thought it was actually an extremely wonderful experience. Not too many people at even the age that I ran ever have done that. I was actually one of the youngest to ever run for a position like that. But originally what made me run for that is like, I saw what was happening like around my surroundings, people not even want to be involved in politics, people wanting to even help out or anything to do with practically anything that's going on, whether it's with organizations or this and that, because they know all the stuff that's going on today. I mean, today things have been getting worse than they've ever have been before. I mean, people think freedom, we have freedom, America. Freedom today is
Thing of the past.
a thing of the past.
Today, you drive down the
It's pretend.
street, you turn around, you're scared that the cop is going to arrest you.
Well, there's traps all over the place. There's cameras all over the
Again,
place.
illegal.
Yeah,
Illegal.
all that were
You-
being when you take your clothes off in a dressing room, there could be a camera there. I mean, when you don't even have
I
privacy,
don't mind,
if you go into
Ralph,
a clothing store,
I don't mind if they
it's
ticket
there.
us, but you know what?
Yeah.
The way they set up their system is that if I'm driving my car and I get a ticket and I forget to pay it,
Right.
and the next
You
time I
can
get the
be
ticket, I will be in jail.
Right, your license be
Not
revoked.
for killing,
No.
not for shooting,
Right.
not for stealing, for driving through a red light.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of things, but a murderer who shoots somebody gets off after 5 years and has a good laugh and joins the
Yeah, it's
Navy.
incredible how if you actually kill somebody in the throes of passion, you could be out. I mean, it may be 4 years
Yeah.
for actually taking a life, and you maybe if it just falls right for you or wrong for you, you can go for a drug charge. I know we're not drug people. You could be in there for 10. You could be in there you could be locked into that
More
system
than
because
10.
you have no pull.
Or bouncing
you,
a
you
check.
don't know anybody or bouncing a check. Let's put it this way: we're all one step away from the Who's Gal.
Exactly. Oh wow!
You make
I
one-
love you, Ralph.
you
You
make
are.
one- I
Wow!
love you too.
Finally, somebody.
You
with
make
brains.
one wrong move at the wrong time, and you don't have the power or backing behind you, and things just work out poorly for you. There you are. You find yourself being, and just like that, bing, 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 you're behind bars.
You know, I was driving in the airport when I went to pick up baby, came back from Florida, and a cop was driving in front of me, and you can't make the left here because it's solid yellow white line.
Right.
You can't pull over in the waiting area.
Right.
So I'm driving, following slowly. 7 cars are following behind us, and the cop stops his car, waves by, he says, "Why are you following so close?" I said, "You're joking, right? We're in the airport. We're going slow.
What
I mean,
do you want me
what do you want me to do? I'm not allowed to pass you. You'd give me a ticket if I
Right.
pass you." You should pass me, and if you got 200 feet behind me, I could pull you over now and citation you and take
So
you
the
in.
cop intimidated the hell out of you, right?
And I had my lawyer on the phone at the time, and I was letting him listen to this. I picked up the phone, and the cop right away got a little nervous. He says, "Move along, move along."
Right.
And you're not allowed to even tape a cop, or you can get in trouble for that. God forbid if you have a bad day and you say "F you, police officer," you're going to be in big trouble.
Right.
I actually like police officers. Me and Abe, when he was younger, used to go clean the police cars because we feel bad for them.
Well,
I like them; they're good, but they think there's power. And
the very few.
And you know, 40% of correction officers and police officers are either divorced or abusive and stuff like that because they can't handle what they do.
Well, there's a blue wall of silence. I mean, if you go to the precinct after having gone against your fellow officer in blue, you're ostracized.
Right.
Nobody wants to know you. Nobody wants to. In fact, they'll even as they turn their back at the funeral on De Blasio, they'll turn.
Which I didn't agree with, by the way.
Right. I mean, same here. But they'll turn their back on you, and no one wants to work in that kind of environment. Now, you were going to say something, and go ahead, please.
First off, I think there's two types of people that become cops. One that wants to help people, the other one is for power. So you kind of have, I don't know if it's half and half, but, you know.
Could be, right.
Another
you're
thing,
right.
you know, as a kid you're taught, like, prison is for bad people. Not anymore. Prison's for everyone. I mean, it's for everyone.
No, but I know what you mean.
If they went after every person and looked through all their discrepancies, every one of us could be arrested for this or that.
Exactly right.
It shouldn't be
Especially
that easy.
police officers. Half the correction officers today we had bad child. And the word police officer is wrong. It's called peace officer. They come to your house, there's an argument. That's the way it was in the olden days.
Well, supposed to protect and serve.
It's right. You're supposed to have a chat with them. You know, you stand before the judge says, yeah, you're right, but the law says I got to put you away. But judge, I made a mistake, or it wasn't my fault, or your law is wrong. I'm sorry, sir. I know that you crossed over the border with this guy. You should have known better. I know you didn't commit the crime, but you're a conspirator to the crime. A new word. Go to jail. What kind of stupidity is? That's why
then they learn to be better crooks.
Right. We are the most.
Yeah.
We have the most incarceration in the entire world.
Everybody's in. You know how many people? I could never get over this, Abe. And you tell me if you agree. Have you served? Yeah, I was in 1999. I did 3 years. I can't get over how many people that are very straight-laced and very, you would think, law-abiding. You know, but it's kind of a contradiction in terms. It's kind of like they've spent time in the can, one way or the other. Because, like I said before, I mean, instead of what's the alternative? Let's go for something positive. Instead of locking someone away. If they let's pick a crime that's not.
Crime.
Yeah, let's pick a crime that's like
I'll tell you a crime.
You stole you embezzled a few bucks.
Forget embezzled. That you're running a big company, you didn't do your taxes correctly.
All right, so you cheated on your
10,
taxes.
12 years if you're a billionaire. I met a guy who served because he went to fight the government.
Right.
They offered him 2 years. He says, no, drop that, I got the money. He got 10 years.
Oh.
And there's nothing you can do about it. He's sitting appealing, he's got his money now. A guy like that would be better served. You're right. Don't put him in a federal penitentiary where it's costing us $80,000, $100,000. Let him sit at home. Let him pay his own things. Let him go clean the streets for all I care. But to waste our time and money, and you know who's watching him? Another loser sitting behind the desk, who's doing nothing, laughing at us, eating the same food of the guys, and he drives home and that guy's spending more time in the camp than the prisoners.
Where do we start? Go ahead.
And don't forget, he's also wasting our pet taxpayer money too.
Right. And I'm telling you, the land that we could do with it, and the stupidity, and we're not producing or create factories with it. Like, they remember how they did the license plates in the movies? Not license plates.
Yeah, they made license plates.
Make something that they could produce for the government, put them on the computers and internet. You know how much of this hacking and computer crime? Okay, stop it. Learn to them. Punish them. I'm not talking about violent criminals that go out and kill or shoot. I'm not talking about rapists, and people do make mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to defend child abuse. I'm going to have a guy on my show next week who's very much against, child molestation. But people do get sick. People do have breakdowns. I don't know what to tell you that I have a friend of mine, a young guy, beautiful, good-looking man. I'm talking beautiful, that you'd cry when you see him. And I just got a call that he has cancer. He's going to. I hope that he makes it for the. And he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do treatment because it's only going to last him long. He's going to suffer. But he has to ask permission. Another stupidity. He has to go to his rabbi. we all have our rabbis and priests. I'm friends with priests, rabbis, imams. I love them across the board, as long as they're not wacko.
Yeah.
And some of you guys wacko. We have a guy in our neighborhood, like a guy named David Cohn. He's just a wacko. He has a hall, and he thinks he's God's gift to this planet. He doesn't know that I'm God's gift to this planet. I'm the angel.
I thought I was.
Right, you know me. I believe
Yeah, but-
we should be able to say to a Jew and a Christian boy who run this city properly.
Yeah.
Guys, wake up. Operation Clean Sweep. Let's change this city. And I have nothing with Obama. Matter of fact, I was proud of Obama, a young man who was going to make a change. The problem with Obama is your stupid Senate, your stupid Congress, all tortured him. They make their own laws. They stuff their own stuff in the bills. And at the end of the day, I have to go home. I'm lucky I have no holes in my shoes, but my heels are crooked because I can't afford to buy anything.
Well, the bottom line is if you're getting into big-time politics, you have to, in effect, sell out. You have to play the game the way it has to be
That's
played.
why we have to
that's
get
the
rid of
problem.
that
Abe is
first.
when Abe gets elected, I promise you, he is not going to do it. And when he becomes vice president of this United States,
stop it
I
already.
wish you
Oh,
would,
come
before
on.
I die, Abe, I want to see you at least.
Why
Oh my
vice
No,
president?
we
I
can't
don't
do it.
know.
President's no good.
Okay.
President's no good.
Okay, you got to get that all worked out. I can see that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, for the most part, now to really be big-time politician, and you need. Let's face it, it costs a fortune to get elected. Any office.
Yeah.
The poor man stands no chance, which it was originally supposed to be. The common man was supposed to could say to his mother, I want to be president someday.
Right.
And that was supposed to actually be a real dream.
They should all get equal funding, not from other people who can be like,
But then-
oh, I helped your campaign
Esty,
because of that.
you're
You owe
wrong.
me favors.
You're wrong. Esty,
Then-
you know how you get on the ballot here? You need to go out and get a couple of 100 signatures, and you're on the ballot. But all of a sudden, these
But
big
then-
politicians
right.
go and say you committed fraud, which you didn't. But and then what happens is the judges who got elected by these big politicians. We were sitting in court in front of a nice judge, Judge Schmidt, a very nice man, and they went and sued Abe on his signatures. We had 5,000 signatures. We had 4 times the amount needed. And they sued us for fraudulent signatures. And we didn't know, the first time they beat us, we just said, listen, Judge, we have the real signatures.
Right.
So we won the case. Then they countersued us and said, well, you know what, you didn't fight the service. And they fought us 12 different times in court, and the judge sat there and says, oh, they're right. I said, why are they right, Judge? You're following the letter of the law, but it's wrong letter of the law. We were on the ballot. So the next time we went and we attacked the signatures of them. We beat them. We won our signatures, and we said that their signatures were fraud, which wasn't. So the judge gets on the stand and says, you know what, I can't take this case because the candidate helped me get into office. And I get up, I say, Judge, listen, Judge Schmidt, I understand as a Democrat, my son's running as a Democrat, he's a Democrat, you can't rule on it. But the guy's running against us as a Republican Party. He has to be ruled against.
Right.
And finally the judge used his brain and says, you're right, as a Democrat I won't rule, as a Republican, and we knocked him off the Republican ballot. We knocked him off the conservative ballot. We ran against face-to-face Democrat, and we lost. Again,
But you have to remember, here's the one issue
we
also.
spent 30
1
grand
minute.
on 2 candidates. They spent 200.
Uncle Heshy.
250?
Uncle Heshy.
I
1
know
minute.
you would. Oh, by the way, everybody has to call me Uncle Heshy.
I will.
I raised a lot of kids.
I don't have any
Uncle
uncles
Heshy,
left.
let me tell you, if
I
they
know
don't,
my son calls
if
me
they
that.
don't just
Say
beat,
pops.
if they don't just beat you on service,
Right.
and they won't beat you in court,
Right.
they'll make you stay in court throughout the whole campaign.
Yeah.
That you don't even have a chance to win.
You have no chance because
No
you
chance to win.
can't campaign.
This is
You're there.
all a game, and
Right.
it is terrible. And it,
So how do you plan on being squeaky clean among all this?
Here's the difference. This is where it used to be that there are 3 different branches in government. One is supposed to be judicial.
Right.
One's supposed to be executive, which is presidential, and then there's supposed to be Congress and Senate. And this is checks and balances,
Right.
as we know this how a whole government was developed. Here's the problem today, and this is on a state level, and I believe it is also on a federal level too. The problem is today, the way the system was set up is district leaders who are now elected into office, they are also allowed to run as assemblymen or as senators. Yeah, senators, but the district leader and assembly races are at the same time. So usually someone that is your average assemblyman, he's your average district leader. Now these district leaders...
Explain, he has 2 positions.
Two positions in government.
He's elected to 2 spots. It's like being president and vice president.
Yeah, it's
Hold
just
on.
go ahead.
And I'm going to go even a step further. These people actually elect people for judges.
So that's how this
They
inside
elect
game
people,
works.
and these judges know if I want to go to Supreme Court, from civil court.
Yeah.
Civil court people elect me, but Supreme Court, the Democratic Party in New York State controls. If I want to go to Supreme Court, I have to suck up to the
Now,
politics.
so young, right? You're 24.
Yeah.
When you were, a kid, 12, did you say, I want dad, I want to be, I want to be...
No,
So
Ralph from your birth. When I called him Ralph, Ralph,
he doesn't
when I
stop.
listen to me, Ralph,
Yeah,
I do
go
stop.
ahead.
I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell your audience the story.
Yeah.
My wife was pregnant. I know we have to get off the air soon, but I'm
No,
going to tell you.
no.
So when my wife was pregnant, I used to wake her up every night and say, "It's a boy."
Right.
Every night. I used to shake
It's a
her.
boy.
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
And you better have a boy. Every night I was screaming at her, "Boy, boy, boy." Finally comes the last couple of weeks.
Right.
And the doctor checks us out. It's before Passover. It's Passover night. The night when I made my first Seder. My father died. I was a little boy, and I hated Passover. Every year Passover went on, I hated it more and more. It was terrible. My father died. I had to make the Seder. I had to raise a family. I couldn't take it. And then comes married, beautiful girl.
Right.
She's pregnant. I said, "Listen, I'm done. I raised my brothers.
Right.
They're married. I have my own baby son coming."
Yeah.
I knew it. I didn't know it was in the cameras, but I knew it in my heart that it was a boy. I said, "I'm done." My mother calls me up and says, "Please give me one more Seder." I said, "Mommy, no more. I'm done. I don't want to be with you people." I said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a Seder, which should take 3 or 4 hours, 15 minutes." Now I'm already a pro. 14 years doing the Seder. I'm 27 years. I'm flying through the Seder.
Yeah.
My wife gets up and says, "Baby's coming."
Uh-huh.
I said, "No, baby's not coming." Doctor said he's not coming. She says he's coming.
Oh my God.
And she stands up. I swear to you, and I put down her first shoe. As I slide on the second shoe, plop, into my hands. I promise you, blood all over me. The center
And
falls down.
that's the way it went down?
She fell down, and my 70-something-year-old mother screaming, "I knew you'd mess up my carpet!" Anyways.
They've been doing it for years,
And my wife got up, started
Yeah.
getting better, and I'm holding this little, I don't know, nothing. I still see it in my hands today, Ralph. This little sponge.
Yeah.
And I thought he's dead. Then he starts to cry. And the police told me on the phone. We called 911. Took them like half hour to come. "Do not rip the cord." I said, "But I'm on my knees. Do not move." So for 30 minutes, I had nobody to talk to. So I'm talking to this little sponge. And I'm screaming at him. I said, "Look at you, the trouble you're making me now. You better be Senator of this United States." And I'm explaining to him he's going to college.
So out of the womb.
Totally exaggerating.
I was there. You don't remember. And when I'm telling you from birth, every day I used to tell him when he was 10, 12 by mitzvah, he promised me he was going to law school, which he's signing up. He's going to law school. He promised me he's going to help. Not the country.
Basically,
He's going
you
to
pushed
help.
him into it.
No, I didn't push him into it. He decided by himself. I just advised him. You're supposed to guide children.
Yeah, you need, at that point, you needed, now if you went in a different direction and you were successful, the man would be proud. Where are you going in your life?
Pot, legalized
Let's
pot.
no, we hit that. That's your deal. Well, I respect that. Where are you going? Where do you see yourself in a few years? Or what's happening right now?
Right now, not a lot. It's a lot of waiting because, I'm still 23. People tell me I have time.
I'm taking care of her. She's my partner.
Yeah, I plan to build cities and companies. Now people are like, "Oh, you're this, little girl from Brooklyn. How can you do it?" I believe I can do it. I believe I can make a movement. And if people don't think I can, that's fine. I'll show them.
You have big dreams.
I do. I have huge dreams.
And you really feel that. You feel strongly. See, if you can you see it?
I see it.
Because if you see it, it maybe can. It could come true. I mean, where did the biggest dream of the Wright brothers with?
That's what I use as an example. When people tell me you're crazy,
I can fly. Man can fly.
Yes.
Now, when the Wright brothers said, we're going to fly one day up in a contraption that's going to have wings, they said, look at this idiot. But it's very true.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the,
Good for you.
I post.
Don't you put a damper on her
I
dreams.
don't. I'm going to help her. I help a lot of people. You know how many young men and women and people I put into business and became successful?
Wow.
Because I believe in it. And I post a quote. On my show, I say a quote before the show, after the show. And I post one every day. I would like to say one now if you don't mind.
Please.
And it's about opinions. Don't let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. And I stole it from somebody, of course.
That's a good one.
But the point is, that's my opinion. Don't let anybody have an opinion of you. I sure don't care. When I fight with people anywhere on the street, or people come screaming at me, people say you're embarrassed. Are you kidding me? I'm happy you're screaming at me. I'm happy you're fighting with me. I'm happy you're embarrassing me in court, because I cannot be embarrassed, because I go home to my beautiful wife and children at the end of the day and laugh at all of you.
Do you go to Sports Authority? Say yes.
They go. It's not for
It's
me.
very
the
important for you to
boys.
say
The boys
yes right
go.
now.
Yes.
The boy- yes.
Sports
Oh,
Authority,
yes.
You
No, I
don't.
did go to
You don't
Sports
want the
Authority. You dragged
Models.
me there.
You don't
You
want
dragged me there
the
once.
Dick's Sports.
Maybe
You want that's the actual name of the
Sports
place.
Authority.
Yes. You want to go to sportsauthority.com, and again, when you get there and you see the vast everything in front of you, you got the basketballs here, you got the skates over there, you got everything
Baseball
there.
gloves. Ella, I need a good baseball glove
You
now.
need a glove. Are you righty or lefty?
I'm a righty.
Okay, me too. But I got millions of gloves at home. By the way, I played in the minor leagues.
Oh,
way back when.
Can
We'll
you
talk about it
join
next
us in
time.
the summer, please?
Of course.
But if I strike you,
Of course.
you can't cry.
You won't strike me.
Okay. Oh, I love you. Oh, I can't wait to get
But I will tell you,
out.
sportsauthority.com. Check it out. Go to right there and find the Sports Authority in your vicinity. There's a beautiful one in Totowa, New Jersey, right near my friend's home, and it's gorgeous. In summer, I mean, they have everything imaginable that you want. And, not only just they have a lot of apparel, they have everything that you could think of. Sports Authority, Romeo show. Okay, we have a few more. We have a few more minutes. We have 10 more minutes.
You got it.
Now, if you want to, let's think.
No, I had something
Yeah,
I wanted
please
to
do.
mention about
Please do.
before.
Please do.
So first off, about the arrests, right?
Right.
We want crime in the city to go down, right? When they say,
We do.
crime is at an all-time low, it's great,
Right.
right? But there's
baloney.
a quota for the amount of arrests they're supposed to make. So how does that make sense? No matter what,
They have to
crime
make-
can't go down because they don't allow it.
It's a good point.
How can there be a quota? That means if they're pushing people. Please arrest more people.
Please. Right. Good.
yeah.
Good one. Good
So-
one. Let me mark that down. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Besides that,
Check.
I believe that any system like America, right? It was great. Any system over
Was.
time gets corrupted. You have to revamp the system every couple
How do
hundred
you,
years.
every couple hundred? How do you do that? And so you want a whole turnover right now?
Yeah, like you have
Operation
we're-
Clean Sweep.
Operation Clean Sweep. I mean, I don't want
Okay,
to say
so that's
right
your-
over the Constitution,
okay.
but like check to make sure it fits in with our times.
Right.
So-
Because they're antiquated things. They're all ancient. Go
Right.
ahead.
Another thing is, I want to go to politicians, not myself, have
Mm-hmm.
people come to them and give them bribes here or there, and everyone that takes it, we expose them. I'm serious. I want to test
So you
every
want
politician.
okay, so you want
See
some
if
undercover.
even one says no, like, I'm not going to take this bribe. See if there's even one honest politician.
I'll tell you, out of 10, Christian will vouch for this. Okay, out of 10, I would say maybe 9. Maybe you'll get 1. So let's say
Yeah.
if you're talking about 100, you're going to get 10 the honest ones, 90 corrupt. Go ahead next.
Also, the
Good points.
Obamacare. I'm not sure about this, but originally,
It's too convoluted.
right? They had one of their friends make Obamacare,
Yeah.
and people didn't know how to use the site, and they couldn't get to it.
Right.
Then 3 random guys, I think from Wisconsin, redid the system, made a program so that when you go into the system, you can understand what it's doing, something like that. They spent millions of dollars on Obamacare, and it didn't even work. Yet these 3 guys did it for free. Made
Wow.
a program that makes this work. That means they basically just gave money to their
Well,
friends.
But they made it so you can't understand. They made it so the average. Same thing with taxes.
Yeah. For the amount of money, they should have given us better websites.
Guidelines.
Any
A better
cheap
website,
person
right.
could
Well,
run
you
it.
know,
Right.
you can't do that, guys, because when Medicaid, we didn't have Medicaid and Medicare when it first, for many years, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, Perot, how did he become, Ross Perot become rich? He was the one who started this. He came up with this idea, the program, or whatever, he helped him out, and today we have Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Medicaid, Medicare. We've learned over the years, over the last 40, 50 years, to make it work. Obamacare is a very complicated, don't get me wrong, it's a very complicated idea. Just like my taxes. 1 page and should cover it all. Instead, we need 90 pages. I know my next door neighbor, he rented a store to two young guys. Usually, you rent an apartment, Ralph.
Yeah.
It's a 1, 2, 3 page lease.
Right.
This guy has a 92-page lease for 1,200 square feet. Why? Because some people want to make things complicated. They want the other person to suffer. And we don't understand it. So citizens of this country, or instead of just your fellow neighbors, go out. Not 15% of the vote, not 30% of the vote. 300 million Americans. Pick your behinds up. Go out and vote in the next election. Let's get different politicians. I can't believe we're going to be voting for Hillary Clinton. I'm going to cut my wrist that she's going to be
Well,
the
all
top
right,
candidate.
now let's fast forward to 2016. Who's going to be the 2 choices? You first, Davey.
I'll be honest, it's too early to tell.
Jeb Bush.
As of right now,
know it's
my
Jeb.
friend and I were talking about this on the way here. So, as of right now, who do you see?
As of right now, I mean, of course, without a question, the nominations are Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton.
Okay, interesting.
That's what I
How
see
about
it
you?
now.
There's no question about it. Hillary owns a Democratic nomination. She has the money. You're talking $600, $700 million. So there's no question. Plus you have, the great Bill, you know what I mean?
$1 billion.
And then you have Jeb, who's for whole family. I mean, if he's going to do it out of pride. He's the front runner, there's no question, whether he backs out of it or not. So Jeb Bush is going to be there. We're going to have another Bush club.
Oh,
and that's what we want to see.
No,
it's not the dynasty. We want to see, like, remember when the two sisters, Serena Williams and Vanessa Williams, they played each other? We all wanted to see it, even though I thought it was stupid. Venus Williams. It was stupid that the two sisters played against each other.
Yeah.
But we wanted to see the craziness, the impossible.
Right.
We need two little people. We need a nice little Indian governor from Ohio running on the Republican side, and we need on the Democratic side some little hillbilly mayor from not Chicago, God forbid, they're all corrupt. But
not mayor, governor.
No, a mayor, a little
Governors
guy.
usually,
And you know what? I would have liked to see Sarah Palin in power. I would have. I know she's a. It would have been not that I would ever trust a woman in our government. Because I don't want Hillary.
You can see Russia from reports.
Right, but I want to change. I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
Do you want to see a female president?
I really
Of
do.
course
I want
she
to prove that
does.
we can do it better.
Oh,
Especially because women have more to prove. She's going to have to try extra hard. She's not going to be like, oh, it's fine. She's going to have so much to prove. Oh, they don't think women are good. So she's going to be like, we're really going to do this.
Because I see Hillary, because the Republican side is just a mess. I mean, there's nobody that stands out. Everybody is just kind of a clone of the other.
Up, even after
Oh,
the
come
Bridgegate.
on. This just for sheer, I'll tell you something. Just for sheer aesthetics, the country won't elect a fat man. I know it, and no, let me tell you that. I know, I know that it's not, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that people vote for strange reasons.
Right.
People vote, why did they vote for Kennedy? Handsome man, and you had
beautiful.
Nixon here. I'm not a crook. You had this guy here, and you had. That's why they voted for Kennedy. I'm just saying, people vote for straight. I trust. They'll say something like this to this effect. I trust that man. Why? I don't know. He has an honest face. I like his eyes. That's why people vote. Unfortunately, it's not about, the ordinary Joe isn't looking at policy down the line. They're looking at, what is this man, I just happen to like this guy for unknown reasons. I don't know why. All right, you've heard our buddy A.B. Why do they A.B., right? That's what people call you, right? And Uncle Heshy.
Did I say that right? I was supposed to call him Abraham Solomon, Abraham Lincoln Tischler.
What?
But they threatened me, my wife and family. I can't call him Lincoln. Wouldn't it have been cool, Abraham Lincoln?
What's your middle? You have a middle name?
I would have changed. I would have changed.
I wouldn't have changed nothing. I would have beaten you up.
Okay. And
by the way, can I give a shout out to my nephew, Jack and Ariel? I love you. You see, Ralph, he's letting me shout your names out. So you're delicious, and I would love to eat you up, but it's not legal.
Final thought.
No, I was just going to ask, can we ask them to like our page?
You can now. This is the time to all your websites, all everything. Go ahead.
There's no websites. Just look anywhere on the web. Just enough Heshy. Just look for Uncle Heshy. You'll find me. Call me. Email me. Hashtag me. I don't know how that thing works.
No, Just Enough Heshy on Facebook. Just Enough Heshy at Gmail, and
I love
Twitter.
Okay, before you leave, let me say you have to have me on your program.
I want you. We were begging you.
Yeah. I want to go down. I want to go down to that station. Is the studio in Sheepshead Bay?
It's almost. It's
right.
Avenue.
It's right around there.
It's called Flatbush, really. Avenue.
No, not really.
It is. Okay, whatever. And we'll get you a nice, good deli sandwich. One of mine.
Beautiful. Sounds good.
You know what I mean? Kosher.
Beautiful. You know something? It was a pleasure, and I judge at this point in time. I say, well, it was great, and I don't say these words. I don't say we'll have to have you back. but in this case, I truly mean it. We'll have to have you
I'll
back.
bring you some more stories. Thank you so much, Ralph, for having us.
And it's been like I don't know. When you form a tie to someone that you've heard on the radio, but you haven't seen them. So I felt kind of like we knew each other, but yet I'm glad we met in person. And thank you. Thank you so much is all I can say.
So much.
You too, Ralph. Thank you. You're the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, Ralph, by the way, you're invited to my house for Passover. We'll say
Look forward to it.
Okay, and we have a big one. Right now the Seder goes 4 or 5 hours. No more 15 minutes.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you, guys. And stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break. We'll get our buddy Christian Varley in here. You haven't heard from him in a while. And, hey, we'll get it cracking. Just a few minutes.
You have music on your radio also? Oh, wait, let me see.